Okay, we're gonna start the lesson now already. Okay, so you can turn on the video. Okay, so come, let's get your paper one ready. And okay, lessons will be recorded, so you can watch the video. All right, if you are still unsure. Okay, come, let me just okay, give me a while first, huh? Okay, so can you hear my voice clearly? Is my voice clear? Yeah, okay. Ruben, got to start your video. Okay, come. So let's check the answers and then we will go through. I'll give the answer first and then later I'll go through how to do it. So question number one, the answer is number three. Okay. So okay, how do we get number three? I think that's quite simple. So which digit is in the tens? That's a decimal. When you see a TH, that's a decimal. So let's revise. This is ones. Okay, ones. Okay, this is tens. And behind the decimal point, that is your tender. Okay, tender. And then further behind, that will be your hundred. Okay, your hundred. So this one you must know. Okay, is something that you have to remember. Right. So behind the decimal point, the first digit behind the decimal point is the tender. So the digit five is in the tens place. Okay, which of the following is the first common multiple? So your answer is number three. And I think some of you put 24. Okay, you cannot do that because you cannot take 4 times 6, 24, because that's not the first common multiple. You must always do this. You must always have a table, something like a table, and then there's a shortcut to get your common multiple. You look at the bigger number and you list out the multiples of the bigger number. 6, 12. Can 12 divide by 4? Yes. So that is your first common multiple. So then you don't have to write 4, 8, 12, da, 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 da. No need. You just look at the bigger number, write the multiple of 6, and can the multiple divide by 4? If can, that is your first common multiple. So the answer is number 3. So that is a shortcut to get your common multiple. And if you want to get the second common multiple, you just have to times 2. Okay, times 2, and you get the second one, which is 24. And the third one, how do you get the third one? Go back to the first one again and you times 3. Okay, this is the shortcut to get all your common multiples, right? Okay, any questions you can raise your hand. Okay, question number 3. What is the answer? The answer is number 2, right? Cannot be 1.2 cm. 1.2 cm is just between my thumbnail to my fingernail. It cannot be so short. Cannot be 1.2 km. The km is like running. It's like a distance to run. Too long already or too far already. Uh, cannot be 120. Cannot be 120 meter. Why? Because if you go for running, go for sports day, you run 100 meters. Wow, that's quite long also. So do you think your bus is as long as 100 meter, which is your sports day when you take part in different running competition? So that's too long. 120 meters is too long. So the correct length is 12 meters. So the bus is about 12 meters, right? So you have to estimate. Okay, estimate whether is it too long or too short. Okay, next one, question 4. The answer is number 3. Okay. And maybe Xiale, are you there, Xiale? Okay, you can help me to double check. Okay, double check whether is it correct or not. Okay, and maybe the rest of you also help me to double check in case Mr. Ong make a careless mistake, then you let me know. Okay, Ruel, start your video. Are you eating? That's why you didn't start your video. So Sharon's watched a movie that was 2 hours 20 minutes long. It ended at 0030. What time did the movie start? Now, usually I would like to work out in 12-hour clock. 24-hour clock is a bit confusing. So I will change this to 12-hour clock. 00, right, that tells you that it is morning, AM. So that will be 12:30 AM. So 0030 is 12:30 in the morning, which is actually midnight, okay, after midnight. So what happened? I would like to use a timeline to see what time the movie start. So I jump back 2 hours, okay, 2 hours. And by the way, if anybody do this, in your paper 2 or paper 1, okay, the booklet B, open-ended. If you do something like that, this is a big no. You can't do that, lah. You cannot take time minus duration. So if you do that, you have to change already. So how do you get the answer? You draw a timeline, and then you will get 10:30, which is PM. So midnight, you come backwards, there'll be nighttime. Okay, nighttime. Then you jump back another 10 minutes. Oh, sorry, 20 minutes. So that'll be 10:10. Okay, 10:10 PM. Okay, but your answer don't have 10 p.m. So how do you change it to 24-hour clock? Then you will have to add 12 to 10 because there's a PM there. So you add 12 to 10, you will get 22:10. Okay, 22:10, which is answer number 3. Are you clear? Okay, understand, huh? Okay. All right, Rebel, okay, huh? Okay, let's go to the next one. Question number 5 is too simple. 7 minutes, Joshua can write 98 words. Okay, what's the answer first? Now, the answer is number 1. Okay, too simple. We thought should make it a bit harder. Okay, so 1 minute, how many? Then 98 divided by 7, which is 14. Okay, 14 words. That's how you get number 1. All right? Okay, so let's go. So what's the lesson here? The lesson here is you need to have the arrow. Even though it's very simple, but when you see this kind of question, you need to show the arrow so that you can do the jumping. All right, the jumping method. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, question number 6. The answer is number 1. Okay, and by the way, give yourself some marks. If you get the answer correct, just put your marks there. So far, all the questions are only 1 mark. Mr. Ong had $100. After buying 5 bags, he had P dollars left. Find the cost of each bag. Okay, now if you don't know how to do this, you can give a simple example. P, give a number. Maybe let's call it maybe $2. Okay, $2 left. So you change it to a primary 3 question. So how do you do now? You take $100 and you minus 2 to get how much you spend, which is 98. Then after that, you want to find how much is 1 bag. You take 98, then divide by 5, and you get your answer here. All right. So what have you done? You give a simple example, give a small number, and then you write your steps to solve this very simple primary 3 problem. Then after that, you copy the steps. Copy the steps into your algebra. So you take $100, or let me just put 100, minus 2. No more 2 already, but P. All right, minus P. Then the second step is divide. So how do you show dividing? Fraction. So divide by 5. And then that's your answer. That is how much is 1 bag. So what's the lesson here? You copy the steps into your algebra. Okay, you understand? So this is a method to do algebra problems if you don't know how to do. Okay, let's go to number 7. Okay, number 7, the answer is number 3. All right. Anyone got mistake? Now, again, you need to change all the fractions to decimal. The whole number become a decimal, 50.0. All right. And then 5 over 10, 0.5. And 5 over 1000 is 0.005. So you have to change it into all decimals, then you can plus them together. So 505 dots 055. So what's your answer? 50.505. Answer number 3. So you have to change them. Don't do mentally unless you're very good. Otherwise, change everything. Change all this into what? All this into decimal. Then you add them together. Okay, question number 8. Okay, this one. You will need to count the gaps, count the lines. So the pencil starts at 1.5 cm. All right. And then what's the end? What's the how long is here? You need to count the gaps. Okay, how to count the gaps? Right. If you look carefully, this is 9. Okay, 9. So 9. Then 1, 9.1, 9.2, 9.3, 9.3. Yeah. So this is 9.3 cm. So how long is the pencil? Then you take 9.3 minus 1.5. Okay, and then do your simple subtraction. And this is 13, this is 8. So you have 8, 7.8. So answer number 2. Yeah, I forgot to show you the answer. Yeah, so the answer is number 2, and that's how you get the answer. Okay, easy so far? Do you have a lot of mistakes so far? I don't think so, right? Because quite easy so far. Okay, shortcut. Jane received 120 as her award. She gave $30 to her father. What percentage did she have left? So shortcut, change the percentage into fraction. Then you can do very fast. So what fraction of the money, which is all the money, did she have left? You take 120 and you minus 30, there will be $90 left. Okay, that's a shortcut. And then make the denominator 100. So you divide by 10, right? And then you divide by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And then after that, 4 times 25 is 100. and 3 times 25 is 75. So once your denominator is 100, how many percent left? 75% left. So answer number 3. Okay, billing, understand billing? All right, paper one must do well for the exam because it will pull up your total marks. Okay, question number 10. Question number 10, the answer is number 4. Okay, number 4. Okay, why number 4? Okay, now if you look carefully, there are two straight lines, right? Is angle A equal to angle C? Definitely not. Okay, definitely not. Even though they look like the same, they look like equal, but you cannot assume. Cannot assume, huh? All right. And then is angle B equal to angle D? And then some of you put number 2. I think some of you put number 2 because it looks like, because you saw X. You saw there's an X there. But because you didn't highlight, or you didn't really highlight, that's why you see a bit wrongly. There is an X there. You're right. But is angle B equal to angle D? When I highlight the two straight lines, you tell Mr. Ong whether number 2 is correct or not. Is angle B equal to angle D? No, it's not already. Because why? Because there is a little because there's a little gap there. Angle B did not come over here. Angle B did not come over here. So it's not equal to angle D. Right? So your number 2 is out. Why? Because for angle B to equal to angle D, right? Then what will happen? Then it has to be like this. Something like this. It has to be like this already. But it didn't. Okay? Your angle B is shorter than that. Okay, so how about angle B plus angle C equal to 180? Angle B plus angle C is definitely not 180 because if you if you look at this, that's not a straight line. It doesn't look like a straight line. All right. How about angle A plus angle D? Angle A plus angle D definitely is 180 because if I draw, right, can you see there's a see angle on the straight line is 180. So angle A plus angle D is equal to 180 degrees. So answer number 4. Right? Okay, clear? Anything not sure, you are still confused, you can raise a hand. Right? Mr. can still answer a little bit of question. Okay, question 11. Now, if you never draw a model, then this will become hard. Okay, this will become hard. And the answer is number 1. All right, so you have to draw a model for this because there's a fraction. All right, anyone get the answer correct for this? Anybody? Okay, some 4. Okay, not all of you. All right, now, then the question is, when you get the answer correct, how long you take? Do you take a long time to do it also? All right, now Miss Tong don't have to take a long time. This fraction is talking about about the beads. I draw a rectangle, which is all the beads cut into 3 boxes. One box is red. Okay, just follow what the question says. Then the rest here will be my blue and yellow. There were twice as many blue, okay, as yellow. All right, very simple. If you look at the model, right, the model tells you there are 2 boxes of blue and yellow. The model, right, the model tells you there are 2 boxes. But if you look at the numbers on top, 2 plus 1 will be 3. I need to cut into 3 boxes. The blue and the yellow cut into 3 boxes, but I cannot cut into 3 boxes. What do? I drop down, right? See? Okay, and then what do I do next? I cut them equally. So 3, then here 2. Okay, Billy, understand why 3, why 2? Okay, because below got 3 small box, on top got 2 big box. Okay, so I put 2 here because on top got 2 bigger box. Then 3, below got 3 smaller box. So 3, 3, 3, then 2, 2, and 2. So can you see that now I have what? I have same units already, right? Okay, there were twice as many blue as yellow. So what do? Twice as many blue. Remember, this is your blue. Okay, let me just write nicely. So this is my blue. This is my yellow. There were twice as many blue as yellow. That's why you have 2 boxes of blue, 2 boxes of blue, and 1 box of yellow. Okay, now after you draw the model ready, can you get the answer? What fraction of all the beads? 9. Right? 9 units is all the beads are blue. Then blue got how many? 2 plus 2 units will be 4 units. So when you draw your model, you can actually do quite fast, right? Without any steps, right? So my answer is number 1. Got it? That's how you do well that's how you think lesser lah. Okay, and let's go to question 12. Question 12, those who haven't learned circles yet, Okay, you try to follow. Okay, but the rest of you, you should have learned already. Answer number four. Do you get correct for those that learned already? Aubrey get it correct? Ruel correct? Bailing? Okay, let's see how we do. Now, the length of the square is 56 cm. So what do? You can find one side. 56 divided by 4, 14. Okay, one side of the square is 14. Can you find the perimeter of the shaded part? Oh, wow, how do we find? Okay, now how do we do that? Now you will have to what? You may want to what? You may want to cut the circle into quadrants, and then you realize that this is the circumference of a quadrant, right? So you cut the circle into quarters. Then you realize that oh, this is the quadrant. So can you find the circumference of the quadrant? So Miss Tang told you already. Do you put one quarter in front? Do you put the right formula behind? Very important, must put the one quarter and the right formula. And then times pi. Pi is fraction. What's the diameter? Well, you look at your 14 cm, right? Divide by 2. That gives you uh, 56 divided by 4 is how many? 14, right? So 14 divided by 2 will be 7, right? 7. 7. Am I correct? 7. Let me see. 50. The length of the square. Oh, sorry, Mr. Make a mistake. My mistake. The length of the square, not the perimeter of the square. Ah, so sorry. Not the perimeter of the square. So I should not take 36 divided by 4. The length of the square is 56 cm. You didn't tell me something was wrong, right? Right, the length of the square. Length, not perimeter. Okay. So you divide by 2, that'll be 28. Right, 28. So the diameter is 28, right? After divide by 2, then you divide by 2 some more. Divide by 2, you get the radius. Okay, the radius, which is 14. Okay, the radius is 14. Okay, that's how you get the radius. So 1 quarter times pi times diameter of the quadrant, which is how many? 28. How you get 28? You look at the quadrant. The quadrant has something called radius. You know that already. So you take the radius times 2, you get the diameter. All right? Change the whole number to a fraction. All right, then cancel. 4 divided by 2. 22 divided by 2. Right? Cancel 7 divided by 7, 1. 28 divided by 7 is 4. Right? Okay, cancel some more. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. All right? Okay, cannot cancel already. Circle them and multiply the numbers. So you multiply the numerators, you get 22. Multiply the denominators, you get 1. So what is 22 divided by 1? Which is 22. So the circumference of one quadrant is 22 cm. How many quadrants are there? How many circumference of the quadrants? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so you have 8. So 8 times 22, you will get how many? So you do working, right? 8 times 22, you will get 176, but that's not the answer yet. Why is it not the answer yet? Because you need to add the straight lines. Remember the straight lines here. So how long is this straight line? Then you can actually go and find out, which is quite easy. From here to here, okay, how long is that? Isn't that 14? And then this is also what? Right, this is also how many? 14. Radius, okay, the radius. 14 plus 14, so this is 28. So the green color line, the straight line is 28. Here also 28. Okay, so you take 28 times 2, you will get 56. Then you add all the circumference and the straight lines, you will get perimeter. So your answer will be 232 cm, which is the perimeter of the figure. Are you clear? Shirley, are you okay? I don't know whether you have learned circles already. If you haven't learned, you'll be very blur, very confused. But the rest of you have learned already, so you should know. Ruel, are you okay, Ruel? Okay, right. So for Shirley, never mind if you're a bit confused. After you have learned in school already, then you come back and try this again. All right. Okay, because this one can't take too long to talk about this. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Okay, the rest of you, any question? No question. The rest of you. So Aubrey, do you do the same thing? Do you get the answer correct? Bailing, how about you? Okay, how about Joshua? Have you learned circles already? Joshua? So you should. Do you get the answer correct? Okay. All right, let's move on. Okay, question 13. Question 13 is something that you should get it correct. Answer number two. If you still get it wrong, Miss Tong, nothing to say already. Okay, now the students at the camp are divided into Group A and Group B. So Group A, Group B. So you can break up into two columns. Why? Because the boys to the girls in Group A is 2:1. Now, you remember that you must put the total. Must put the total. If you still haven't put the total, try to remember that because otherwise you'll be stuck. The boys to girls in Group B is 4:11. Okay, so the total also must have 4:11. Total is 15. And look at the two groups. Look at the two ratio. What is the same? The students are divided equally. Means they have the same total. Equally, same total. But the numbers are different. So you will have to times 5 to make the total equal, right? And you will get 10 is to 5 is to 15. And then you have 4, no change for this ratio. Once you make the total the same, then they are one big ratio. Okay, one big ratio already. All right. And then you can get the answer. What's the ratio of boys to girls? So boys is 10 plus 4, 14. And the girls is 5 plus 11, 16. 14 is to 16. So divide by 2 and divide by 2. Answer number 2. Okay, those of you in my lessons, you cannot get this wrong. Still get it wrong, then how many times must we say this? Okay, so don't get it wrong. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Question 14. Okay, question 14. Okay, question 14 could be a little bit hard, but there is a way to do it. There's a method here. The answer is number two. Okay, number two. Do you get number two? Already you get number two? No. You got number two? How about okay now? What's the method here? There's a method. When questions gets harder, always recall your methods. What can you use? Now, the bar graph shows the buns. Number one, bar graph, no numbers. What do? Put units, right? Call them by the units. You should at least know how to do this. Put the units there. 5 units of tuna. Eggs is 3 units. Okay, that's number one. Okay, the table shows the price list of the different buns. The bakery collected $230 from selling the tuna buns. How many sardine and egg buns were sold altogether? Think of your method. What method can I use? Can you think about making one group? One group, grouping method. So how do you know whether can I use grouping method? Well, remember how you write your one group, arrow, title, box, bracket. Remember this? If you can fill in this, then you can what? You can use grouping method, right? So can we fill in this? So yes, sardine label title. The line is for you to write the title. Egg, write the egg, and total. Okay, all right. Then can you fill in the box, which is how many? How many in the box? Like how many sardine in one group? You look at the bar graph, 6 unit. Instead of putting 6 unit, you just put 6. One group got 6 sardine. One group got 5 tuna. One group got 3 eggs. And what's the total? 11 plus 3 is 14. Okay? Can you now fill in the bracket? Bracket means how much? So if one sardine is $1, 6 sardine must be $6, right? And one tuna is $2, 5 tuna must be $10. And then 3 eggs will be $3. And how much is one group? 6 plus 10, 16 plus 3, 19. Wow, I can use grouping method. Can you see that? Grouping method. And then can you find how many groups make up $230? And be very careful. Please don't say that $230 divided by 19. That's wrong because this $230 refers to what? The tuna buns. How much money you collect from the tuna buns. So you must go to one group, look for tuna buns, and look for money. Look for money. So divide by $10. So one group, $10. So how many groups can you make? You can make 23 groups. Okay, 23 groups. So if I have 23 groups, I can solve the problem already. So how many sardine and egg buns were sold altogether? Go to one group, look for sardine. Okay, look for the title. Look for sardine, look for egg. And how many sardine and egg in one group? You take 6 plus 3, 9. Okay, understand? One group got 6 sardine and 3 eggs, so together 9. So one group got 9 sardine and 9 egg. I got 23 groups, so 23 times 9. Okay, 23 times 9, and what you get? You will get your answer ready, which is 207. So there are 207 sardine and buns. Sardine and egg buns. Okay, all right. So grouping method, grouping method. All right. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so be aware of your method. When question gets harder, think about assumption, think about this and that, whether can you use or not. But not anyhow use. You must think which method you is more suitable to use. Okay, question 15, eyes open big. This is a question that if you haven't seen it yet, it will come out soon in somewhere, in your exam, in somewhere. So have you seen this before? Nobody. Anyone seen this before? No, except for one Jialer. Okay, then Jialer must know what's the answer. Oh, but you have said it before in my paper one. I think I given something like that also. Answer is 2. Correct? Jialer, correct, Jialer? Oh, okay, what happened? Okay, now, I think it's the same question as I put in the paper one. Some not the same question, but something quite similar. Now, if you see a table like this, what do? You go and find the pattern. Do you go and find what's the increase? Plus 4, plus 4, plus 4, right? And then column B, the same, right? And then column C, same. Column D, also same. So where is your 350? Is it here? Oh, sorry. Is it in column A or is it column B, column C? Which one? So we are going to find out how do we do that. All right, now this is the lesson. Now you jump. Okay, jump. So 57 jump to 350. What's the increase? You take 350 and you minus 57. You will get 293. All right. All you have to do is very simple. Can you see that from 57 to 61, there's a small little jump. You just take the big jump, 293, and go and divide by one small jump, to go and divide by 4 to find out how many jumps. How many jumps can you doing until here lah, until here. So if you divide and there's a remainder, then that's not the column because cannot have remainder, right? You need to jump. You need to have a nice whole number when you divide, so that when you jump is then you will get your answer ready. So you cannot have a remainder. So if you take 293 and you divide by 4, there's a remainder. Okay, yes, 73 and there's a remainder 1. Okay, remainder 1. So column A out. Do the same thing for column B. 350 minus 58. Okay, and you will get 292. Okay, 292. Then you take 292, go and divide by 4 to get how many jumps. And you are very lucky. No need to do anything. There's no remainder. Means you have to jump 73 times. 73 times. And you will get 350. So your answer is column B. Right? Column B. Because when you divide, there's no remainder. So number 2 is the answer. But how about column C? You can try and minus. You take 350 minus 59. 350 minus 59, you get 291. And then you take 291, divide by 4. And do you have a remainder? Yes, you will have a remainder. So your remainder will be, what's the remainder? 72, remainder 3. Okay, once there's a remainder, that's not the correct column. And column D will be the same. There's a remainder. Okay, so this is how you do. But hope you understand how to do now. So there's a way to do this to get the answer. Any question so far? Good? Clear? Shall you understand how to do this kind of question now? Right? Okay, we're going to move on to booklet B already. So we may end a bit earlier. I think so. Okay, question 16. 1 over 20. So how to divide fractions? Keep, change. And the 15, the whole number must change it to a fraction first before you flip. Okay. Then after that, cancel, divide by 3. Then cannot cancel already, you multiply. So 1 times 1 is 1. And then 4 times 5 is 20. Okay, that's your answer. Okay, next one. Question 17, you will get 20%. Shortcut. Write as a fraction. Every time you see percentage increase, percentage decrease, write your fraction. The denominator is the original price. Always the usual price. Denominator is a discount, which is $12 discount, right? Then make the denominator 100. You can divide by 6. Okay, divide by 6, divide by 6, and then after that, 10 times 10 and 2 times 10. So once the denominator is 100, then 20%. All right. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Question 18, very easy. Question 18, 68 degrees. Even though this is very easy, but the property is important because you need to use this property to solve very hard questions later. What kind of property is that? If you see two lines, they are parallel because the question says so, then what happened? Then the angles between the parallel lines add together is 180. Okay, this is a very important property, all right, for my students. Remember this property. And of course, those who are not in my lesson also lah, right? So when you see two lines that are parallel, okay, two lines that are parallel, okay, remember two lines that are parallel, then what happened? You will have to recognize the angles between them. So these two angles between will add together 180, then you minus 112, and that's how you get 68 degrees, right? Okay, right. You will see this property being used in very hard questions. So which means that if you don't remember this property, when you do the harder questions on angles, you cannot do. Right? Okay, let's go on to question 19. Okay, how do you find the area of the quarter circle? One quarter, put the one quarter in front because it's a quadrant, and the formula, pi r square. Okay, one quarter and the pi is a fraction and the radius is whenever you see a quadrant, very easy. The two sides are called what? Radius, the two sides. Okay, and how do you get the diameter? You just take the radius times 2 to get the diameter of the quadrant. Okay, so times 7 times 7. No calculator, change the whole number into a fraction. All right, cancel, divide by 2, divide by 2. And then cancel again, divide by 7 and divide by 7. And then cannot cancel anymore. And there's still a 2. There's still a 2 here. Never mind. You multiply. If you cannot cancel, it's okay. Multiply the numerators. You get 77. Multiply the denominators. 2 times 1 times 1 times 1, you get 2. And then go and do your working. This one, no shortcut. So you must go and do your division. So your answer will be 38.5. Okay, that's the area of the quadrant. Okay, we start assume you know how to divide, so that we don't spend too much time. Okay, so everyone get the answer correct, and please also remember to write down your units in paper two. Paper two, the unit is not given to you. So if you don't write the unit, you minus half mark. Okay, next one. Question 20. This one is also quite easy. The water in the beaker is shown below at first. So how much water is there? Okay, every time you see a number line, please do this. Count the lines, count the gaps. The gaps. There are two gaps. This is 0. Don't count from here. This is 0, then 1, 2. So you have 2 units, which is 40. Okay? And then 1 unit is 40 divided by 2. And then you start counting plus 20, plus 20, plus 20. So 160 plus 20, this is 180 ml. So you pour another 50. Wow, so easy. So how much water now? 180 plus 50, you will now have 230 ml, which is your answer. Okay? So 1 mark. In your PSLE, you can expect the 1 mark to be very simple. Okay, question 21. Okay, question 21. Okay, what's the answer? The answer is 13K. Okay, 13K plus 2. Anyone got the answer correct? Okay, not many. There's a working backwards here. Eileen got some poster. Okay, some poster. All right, this is what you learned in primary 3. It's the same thing. She bought plus 5K new poster, and then 2 new posters, what happened? Were torn and she threw away. Throw away means you minus 2. So you bought 5K poster and then you throw away 2. And now she was left with 18K. So isn't this quite familiar in your primary 3? Something like working backwards. So you start with 18K, and you work backwards, minus become plus 2. then plus become minus 5k. Suddenly become very simple already. 18k minus 5k, or if you don't know how to do, never mind, circle the groups, and then arrange the groups with the same letters, put them together side by side, and then what do you get? 18k minus 5k will be 13k plus 2. Okay, that's how you do. Okay, Aubrey, do you get the answer? Do you know how to do now? Working backwards. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. Question 22. Okay, Christopher got $63. What's the greatest cupcake that he can buy? Now, your answer will be 22. 22. Okay, and how you get 22? Okay, this can be a primary 3 question, or primary 4 question. You got $63, you want to buy as many as you can. So you should buy boxes. Okay, buy boxes. So you pay $25, you buy nine cupcakes. You buy another box, you buy another nine. So you got $50 already. So how much left? So I still got $13 left. Okay, the $13, how many cupcakes can you buy? You can buy one cupcake, which is $3. Then another one cupcake, another one cupcake, another one cupcake. So now I got $12 already, right? And I still got $1 left. Okay, so how many cupcakes can I buy? I can buy 9 plus 9, 18, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So I can buy 22 cupcakes. So my answer is 22. Okay, got it? Okay, clear, easy? Okay, let's move on to the next one. Question 23. Okay, what's the answer for this one? The answer is 35. Anyone get this correct? Okay, 2%. Okay, there is of course, it's model. Okay, you have to draw a model because it's fraction. So when you see fractions, what do you ask? What are they talking about? The 4 over 9. Look at what's behind the of the remainder. Okay, and the 1/3, what is it talking about? Talking about the cakes. So are the two fractions talking about the same quantity or the same thing? They are not. The 4 over 9 is talking about the leftover, the remainder cakes. The 1/3 is talking about all the cakes. So you cannot make the denominator the same, right? So what you do? You can still draw the model, right? Draw the model, and then the first sentence you don't know how to draw, you can skip. After starting 42 cupcakes, so you cut 42, and then the remainder is here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? When you draw the model, you have to start from the first sentence to the second to the third sentence. Okay? And please label. So you sell in the morning. So label your model. And he sold 4 over 9 in the afternoon. Okay? And then the rest of the cupcakes, you can call it the leftover. So, and you are somewhere until here. And Miss will show you the easy way to do faster. There is a fraction which is the leftover, right? So just put down here 1/3. So you have 1/3 of the cupcakes left, which is how many units? 5 units. And if there's 1/3, there must be 3/3. 1/3, there's a 3/3. Then there's also a 2/3. Where's the 2/3? The 2/3 is here. So every time you see you see a fraction, there is a family. 1/3, 2/3, 3/3. Okay, so 1/3 is how many units? 1/3 is 5 units. 3/3 will be 15 units. And all these are called units. So if 3/3 is 15 units, then you minus how many units here? 9 units. And you will get 6 units in the morning. Understand? Or 2/3 is how many units? 2/3 is 5 times 2. You get 10 units. So over here, you can put down 10 units if you want. So 10 minus 4, you also get 6 units. Right? Okay, then 6 units will be equal to what? 6 units will be equal to 42. And you can find 1 unit. So 1 unit is 7. So how many cupcakes were left? So you just count the units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 units were left. And I forgot to give you the answer. So the answer is 35. Do you get 35? Anyone got the answer correct? Okay, not bad. But do you draw the model or you didn't draw the model? Okay. For those who get it wrong, do you understand how to do now? This is the model that you draw. All right. Okay, let's move on. Question 24. Question 24. Somebody is going to make a mistake again. So I can see your eyes already. Aubrey, is that you? We talk about this today. Okay, the answer is what? Okay, the answer is 2/5. 2/5 meter. Anyone get it correct? Oh, Jialo got mistake. Okay, now, okay, let's see. Let's talk about your mistake again. Honey had a roll of ribbon which was 4 meters in length. She cut the ribbon into smaller pieces, each measuring 9/10 meter. She gave her sister the greatest number of pieces. Right. How much ribbon did she have left after giving away? So let me ask everybody. I'm sure everybody must have done 4 meter divide by 9/10 meter. Anyone didn't do this? Everyone do that, right? Okay, so you must divide to get how many pieces, right? So how to divide? Change the whole number to a fraction. So keep, change, flip. Okay, and then if you cannot cancel, then 4 times 10, 40, 1 times 9, 9. And then you can divide. 40 divided by 9. So you have 4 times 9 is 36, and there's a remainder 4. So what do you get? You will get 4 and 4 over 9. What is 4 and 4 over 9? So if the question asks you, how many pieces did she give to her sister? Then you look at the whole number. She must have given 4 pieces. Okay, if the question asks you how many pieces. Okay, those who get it wrong, is your answer 4 over 9 meter? Jialo, is your answer 4 over 9 meter? Yes, right.
They say how many ribbons she can had cut.
Huh? She gave her sister the greatest number of pieces she could cut. How much ribbon did she have left? So you will have to what? The remainder tells you what? The remainder tells there's a something here. Something here tells you what?
Need to
Something
take
left over.
4/9 times 9/10.
Yeah, yes, that's correct. I'll be coming to that soon. So every time when you divide and there's a fraction, it means that there's a leftover that you cannot cut another piece, not enough to cut another piece. So you will have to find how much is the leftover. How do you find that? You take 4 over 9, that's the shortcut, and you multiply by the length of one piece. One piece is 9/10 meter. Okay? And this is a shortcut. So you cancel, divide by 9, and then 4 divided by 2, and 10 divided by 2. Cannot cancel already, then 2 times 1, 2. And then 1 times 5, 5. So what is the ribbon leftover? Which is 2/5 meter. So that is the leftover. So this leftover cannot cut another piece. Too short. So you can only cut at the most 4 pieces. Okay? So that's why she gave her sister the greatest number, which is 4 pieces. Okay, Jiale, did I answer your question? Okay, clear. Okay, Billy, understand Billy? All right, so don't make any more mistake for this question already, especially how to get the remainder. Okay, okay, let's go to question 25. Okay, so the answer is 2 over 5 meter. Okay, next one. Now, when you do your paper one exam, PSLE exam, there will be some easy questions for you to take a rest. Okay, because maybe just now was a bit hard. Now you come to question 25, it's a bit easy. It's for you to relax. Okay, so don't don't make any mistake here because it's quite easy. So what is the greatest multiple? Your answer will be 8650. And how do you get the greatest multiple? You have to make the biggest number first. You start with the biggest digit, then getting smaller, smaller, and smaller. And then there's a shortcut. How do you know whether it's a multiple of 5? You look at the last digit. Can you divide by 5? 0 can always divide by any number. There's no remainder. So if 0 can divide by 5, then that is the multiple of 5 already. Okay, so your biggest number, biggest multiple is 8650. Okay, all right. Now, part B, there is a danger. Okay, because some of you will be tricked because you thought that the number must be less than 6,000. So those of you who got your number, your answer, which is 5, you start with 5, right? And then you make the biggest number that start with 5. 5, 8, 6, 0. And that's your answer. You are wrong. Anyone got this answer? Okay. Why wrong? because you forgot that the number can also be more than 6,000. So if I start with 6, then what's the smallest number that starts with 6? 6058. Okay, 6058. So you tell me, which number is now closer to 6,000? You can find the difference. 6,000 minus 5860, there's a difference of 140, right? 6,058 minus 6,000, there's a difference of 58. The smaller difference will be the closer. So Mr. Ong told you before already, when you see this kind of question, don't always think that the number is must be less than 6,000. It can be more than 6,000. So you need to have two numbers, right? 5,000 and 6,000 and compare which is closer. All right, so 6058. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, question 26 is also not, well, if you understand, can be quite easy. 32 cents. Okay, how you get 32 cents? You will need to draw a line. Must draw a line. Then you will see clearly. Mr. Ong sent a letter that weighs 33 grams. Okay, and then he paid 56 cents. So I just put below 56 cents for the parcel. So how much did he pay for the first 20 gram? So you cut the first 20. And how much is the first 20? Don't know, right? Don't know. But every additional 10 cut here, this is 10 gram, then this must be 3 grams. So every additional 10 gram is 12 cents, and the 3 gram is also 12 cents. So let me ask you, can you find the question mark already? You take 56 minus 12, and that's how you get your 32 cents, which is the first 20 grams. Aubrey, do you get this correct, Aubrey? Okay, all right. Okay, that's how you do. So you have a line and you cut it into different parts. Okay, next one, question 27. Okay, again, let's hope we get this correct. Circles. Is your answer is, let me see. The, oh, Miss Song don't have the answer. Where? 31. Okay, 31
Yeah.
cm. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, yes,
They
really?
don't specify which height to use.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, Mr. Forgot. Yeah, as Mr. was going through the paper, I realized something. Okay, you didn't get the answer, right? Can Mr. give you 5 minutes, okay? 5 minutes, okay, or maybe 7 minutes. Pi is equal to 22 over 7. Or those of you who assume that, uh, okay, those of you who don't know, haven't done yet, you may, I'll give you 5 minutes to see whether you can get the answer now so that you have some chance to try this. And I let you use a calculator, okay? Calculator, because we need to do a bit faster. Okay, so those who haven't done it because you don't know what pi, so I give you some time to do it. Once you're done, give a thumbs up. You use a calculator, okay? Use a calculator so you can work out faster. Later on, I'll show you without the calculator.
Can I go get my calculator?
Okay, okay. Okay, hurry. Okay, the rest of you, if you are done already, you can check, okay? Check and see whether you got it correct. Okay, Beiling, don't off the video. Beiling, why you off the video? Ruel, where are you? Ruel. Okay, about 2 more minutes. So Charlene got the answer ready, Charlene? Okay, I think Aubrey, you have the answer ready, right? Okay, let's go through. Ruel, where are you, Ruel? We still can't see you. Okay, so find the parameter of the shader part. All right, now, you need to remember every time you see a picture, area and parameter, please put numbers. Put numbers on the diagram. All right, it will guide you to maybe know what to do. And then there's a smaller square. Go and put number. Put number. All right, and then this side will be what? This side will be 4. Okay, 4 cm. Okay, put numbers there. All right, how do you find the parameter? You highlight. Okay, highlight the lines you want to add. 7 plus 4, 11, plus 3, 13. No, let's write down. 7 plus 4, then plus 3, and then plus 3, and then plus 3. Okay, so go and add the lines and highlight the lines. All right, so if you add them correctly, that will be how many? 7 plus 4, 11, 14, 17, 20. So you will get 20. Okay, 20. All right, which is all the straight lines. Then you need to find this one, which is a circumference. So 1/4, because it's a quadrant, times pi d. Pi d is the formula to find circumference. Okay, 1/4 times pi. Pi is fraction. What's the diameter? What you see is a quadrant. So this side is called radius. Okay, this side or r. Okay, it's a small letter r. So if this side is called radius, then how do you get the diameter? Diameter you just times 2. If you have a radius, you times 2. So 7 times 2 become 14. So every time you see a quadrant, okay, just a quick revision, the two sides are called radius. Then you times 2 to get diameter. All right, cancel. 4 divided by 2, 22 divided by 2, right? 7 divided by 7, 14 divided by 7, right? And then 2 divided by 2 and 2 divided by 2. Okay, understand? Billy, you know how to cancel? Cancel to make the number smaller and then multiply them. You get 11. Multiply the denominators, you get 1. And the circumference is 11 cm. So what do you do next? You plus the straight lines and the circumference together. And that's how you get 31 cm, which is the parameter. Right? Okay. All right, let's move on to next one already. Okay, next one, question 28. Using the square grid, draw and label an isosceles triangle. Now, you have also learned already that you need to draw a sketch, right? So how do you draw a sketch? X, Y. Isosceles triangle means two sides are equal. So your triangle will look something like this. XYW, WX is equal to WY, and XYW is 45 degrees. All right, when you draw a sketch, you don't need to use ruler, just freehand. Once you have drawn already, then you do the real thing. And how do you do the real thing? Quite easy. 45 degrees, you just have to cut the square diagonally, using pencils. Okay, using pencil. And how long should you cut? How long should you cut? You can estimate lah. You can estimate. So you can see something like to the middle, right? Then here, and by the way, this is also 45 degrees because isosceles triangle means the two angles are the same. So the other side, you also cut diagonally until what? Until you have two red lines meet together. So the two red lines cut diagonally until they meet. And that's how you draw your isosceles triangle. And then you must label X, Y, W, right? And you need to label 45 degrees, right? And you need to maybe put a marking step. Mr. will advise you to put the marking there so that everything is all inside. Right? Your teacher may ask you not to do that or don't have to. Okay, but I think nothing wrong if you put that also. Put the markings inside there. All right, and that's your drawing. And then you measure the length of WX. Okay, can someone tell me what's the length of WX? Have you measured already? Do you have the right drawing? Okay, so maybe Shirley, can you tell me what's the length?
It's 6 cm.
6 cm, because okay, did anyone get 6 cm? Those who have the same drawing. How about Stella? Do you have the same drawing?
I got 5.9.
5.9. Okay, so plus minus 1. Okay, plus minus 1, 5.9. Okay, Ken, 5.9. Anyone get maybe 6.1? 6.1 is also correct. Plus and minus 1. But I think far away from these three numbers will be wrong already. Okay, so That's how you draw. And then when you are asked to measure, use a ruler. Use a ruler to measure. Okay, but I want to test everybody. Okay, yes, Ruel?
But they have the 1 cm there.
Yeah, there's a 1 cm there. So let me ask Ruel, are you going to tell Mr. Ong 1 cm? Or are you going to tell Mr. Ong this 1 cm, 2 cm, 3 cm, 4 cm? So is your answer 5 cm? Damn, the answer is wrong already, not 5 cm. Okay, for Ruel, why is it wrong? Let me ask you, do you think this diagonal line is longer than this side? If you use your eyes to see, do you think the diagonal line is longer than than this side? It is longer, right? So it has to be more than 1 cm. So this line is definitely more than 1 cm. So you cannot count like that. What is 1 cm? 1 cm is only when you are measuring horizontal and vertical. Horizontal and vertical. But if it's a diagonal, then you need to use a ruler. Use a ruler to measure. Okay, but my question to you is this. See whether who can tell me. If I'm not using a ruler, tell me how long is this line? Those of you in my class, let's start with, okay, let me ask everybody. How long is this line without using a ruler? Remember the squares? The squares counting the squares? Aubrey, tell me how long is this line? Not using ruler, not using ruler, using squares. Stella, how long? How long is this green color line? And the rest of you,
Isn't it the same?
remember how Miss Wan teach you to count the squares? Construction? Remember the construction? How
5
to
is to 5.
say again?
5 is to 5.
5 is to 5? Okay. Okay. Remember, Miss Tong showed you the construction lesson. Like, how do you measure this line without using ruler? Like from here to here, you count the squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I heard something. 5 by 5. Yes, 5 by 5. Do you say that just now? Somebody said that just now. So 5 by 5. That's how you count the line. That's how you measure the line using the squares. So this line is 5 by 5. Okay, 5 by 5. Very important. This, you must know how to count the squares because you're going to do that to draw your other shapes in your construction. Okay? All right, let's move on already. Okay? Yeah. Okay, now question 29. Question 29, I think going to be quite tricky. Yeah? There are 9 unit cubes. So, do you know that there's one cube here? There's a cube over here. It's not empty. Yeah? There's a one cube here. So how do you know there's a one cube there? Because if you count the cubes 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, you add all the numbers together, isn't that 9 cubes already? So how do you draw the top view? You must face the front first, then you grow into a giant. Okay, grow into a giant. Then you look down. Look down, what do you see? 2, 2, 1, 1. Okay, so it's parallel with the front view. Parallel. One more time. How do you draw the top view? It is parallel with your front view. So 2, 2, 1, 1. So when you draw, it will be like this. 2. Okay, 2. Okay, 2, uh, 2, 2, 1, 1. Correct? Yeah, and no freehand. I'm using freehand, but you must use a ruler. You use freehand, will be penalized. Must use straight lines. Must use ruler to draw straight lines. Okay, next one. Okay, part B. Some of you may not know how to do. Gregory glue more unit cubes to form a solid. What was the least number of cubes used by Gregory? All right, now this is how you do. All right, now you can look at the figure. It is not a solid cube yet. So you are going to add some cubes so that it become a bigger solid cube. So how many cubes must you add to make it into a cube? Now, very simple. You count the side here. How many cubes over here? 4. Okay. Then this side, 2. Then the height is 2. So what is a cube? What is a cube? A cube means all sides are equal. So you look for the biggest number, then just put 4, 4, and 4. Okay, look for the biggest number, and that's the side of the cube that you want to form. 4 times 4 times 4, you will need 64 cubes altogether. but there are only 9 cubes. Only 9 cubes. So how many more must you add? You need to add another 64 minus 9. You will have to put another 55 more cubes. And once you put 55 more cubes, then what will happen? Then it will become a big cube already. So is your answer 55? Okay, understand now? Those who get it wrong, this is how you do. Okay, all right? And it's a primary 5 question. Primary 5, you have done this also. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, last question. Okay, this is the okay. For those in my class, we are halfway in the middle of triangles. So we talk about with topics about methods. Okay, methods. We haven't covered all the methods yet. So there's a method that you haven't learned that is used for this question. Okay, so what is that method? Okay, let's see. But when you come later, oh no, oh not you, sorry, P5, it's not said wrongly. It's a P5, not P6. You have done it already. P5, they are learning this now. Okay, but there's a method here. So EFGH has an area of 2250. So EFGH means the entire rectangle. The entire rectangle is 2250. Okay, MNH has an area of 750. Where's that? Here. This is your MNH. Okay. All right. Miss Sunny, you need to open your eyes very big. There's a very important lesson here. This could be the most important lesson. And then the shaded area. This is the shaded area, which is don't know what lah. Don't know. Did the question say? MNH is 750. So this is 750 cm square. And the shaded area, don't know what. You're supposed to find the shaded area. Okay, here comes the method. Right, without the methods, you cannot solve. Very hard to solve, unless you think very hard. Okay, the method is what? The method is how to draw a right angle triangle. So for example, if I have a triangle like this is not a right angle. So how do I draw into a right angle? I draw the same base, and the height is here, right? So I draw the same height at the starting point of the base to form a right angle. And that is my right angle triangle. Okay, now take note, everybody. Make sure you pay attention. Now, so can you see what happened now? I have redrawn the triangle into a right angle triangle. Do they have the same area? Yes. Base is the same. The height is also the same. So same area. But the triangles look different. But it doesn't matter. They have the same area. Okay? All right, one more time. Another one. If I have an obtuse triangle, can I draw this obtuse triangle into a right angle triangle? Yes, I can. Do you see the base? Draw the same base. Where's the height? The height is here. Just draw the height at the start of the base to form a right angle. And guess what? I have another triangle that also have the same area. Why? Because I got the same base, I got the same height. Okay? All right, so that's the method. How to draw a right angle triangle. Okay, now we're going to look at this question and do the same thing. Okay, do the same thing. Here goes. Okay, now see. Do you see the two green color triangles? The two green color triangles. I am going to combine them to draw a right angle triangle. To draw also a right angle triangle. How to combine them? Very easy. The base of the bigger triangle and the base of the shaded triangle, I join them together, become a bigger base. Okay? Where's the height? The height of the green triangle is here. And the shaded triangle is also the same. So what do? I draw the same height. Okay, same height. And then I form a right angle. And now I have a right angle triangle already. Okay? And guess what? Why do we want to draw a right angle triangle? So that we can form a rectangle. A rectangle. And why do we want to draw a rectangle? Because if the area of the rectangle is 2250, right, then you can divide by 2 to find the area of one right angle triangle. So when you divide by 2, this is 1125, and this is also 1125, right? And guess what? Isn't this triangle, okay, isn't this triangle which Mr. is highlighting, this triangle the same as what? Same as this and this. Because you join these two green color triangles to become a right angle triangle already. Right? Isn't that the same? So now can you find what's the shaded area. Can you find already? You take 1125 minus 750 and you will get 375. So the shaded area is 375 cm square. Understand? Okay. Yeah, but okay, it can be a bit hard to understand now. Don't worry if you don't understand. Uh, okay, we'll talk about this more in our lessons. Okay, because time is running out already. But the rest of you, those who understand, I think good. Okay, this is an important method. All right, that will help you to solve harder questions. Okay, anyone get the answer correct? Anybody? Nobody. Okay. Okay, so this is what's the method called? How to draw a right angle triangle. So you combine the two green color triangles that you see, combine these two green color triangles, right, into a what? Into a big right angle triangle. All right, and how do you draw the big right angle triangle? You take their base, combine their base, join them together, become one big base. Wow, one big base. And then the height of these two green color triangle is the same. Then you just draw the same height, lor. But you draw the height to form a right angle. Draw the height at the start of the base. Then you have a right angle triangle ready. And why do you want to draw a right angle triangle? Because you want to form a rectangle. And then why do you want to form a rectangle? Because you have the area of the rectangle, which you can divide by 2. Can divide by 2, right? And then once you know what is the area of the big right angle triangle, then you can find the shaded area, which is here, right? Because the two green color triangles is also the same as the big right angle triangle. Understand? Yeah. Okay, the P5 are learning this, the P5. Okay, so if you came last year for my lesson, you will also learn something like this. Okay, so that's the end of the lesson already. So 905. So next week will be paper 2. So again for this April, there'll be 4 lessons only. Then after April, we have a 1 month break. Then we continue after 1 month. Okay, so you will the next paper will come a few days later. Then you get it done and then we go through again on next Monday. All right, any questions before we end the lesson today? Any questions for today? No questions. Okay, then I'll see you on the next Monday. All right, so have a good rest. If you want to stay behind to ask questions, you can do so. Okay, bye bye. Okay, bye bye, everybody. Good night. See you. Anyone want to stay behind to ask questions? Nobody. Ruel? No questions. Okay, then bye bye. Miss, I'll see you the next time. Okay, goodbye, everybody. Good night. Okay, bye bye.
Bye, Charles.
Okay.